Less than 15 miles down the road from Keswick, where trains brought in the tourists, Cockermouth had a very different railway story. And at various points in history, it didn't just have one railway station, it had two. Today, you'd never know. So what happened to Cockermouth's railway? Cockermouth is a small market town right on the edge of the Lake District with a population of just under 9,000. It sits at the meeting point of two rivers, the River Cocker and the River Derwent, which helped shape both the town's industry and its problems with flooding over the years. This is also the birthplace of William Wordsworth, but unlike nearby Keswick, Cockermouth wasn't built on tourism. And an obligatory apology from us for pronouncing Cockermouth incorrectly for the most of this video. We stayed here for 2 nights and it was only a friendly local right at the end of our trip who finally put us right. It's Cockermouth, not Cockermouth. Oh well, it wouldn't be the first time, so please feel free to leave your joviality in the comments below.
It's the River Cocker, I think.
River Cocker?
The Cocker. This would be like flooding damage. You can see some of the flood defences they've had to build as well.
Oh yeah, because this has suffered really bad from flooding here, hasn't it?
Oh, it has. I mean, the level on this got really high. It just swamped the whole of the high street.
We came and stayed here in about 2010. Just the place we stayed in was only just reopening, the pub on the main street, just because of all the flood damage, and you could see all the marks where the water had been up to. So is that building that's kind of come down as a result of the flooding then? It's just taken the front off.
Maybe that embankment's just slipped.
Wow, incredible that.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the work of William Wordsworth, John?
Not really. It's about daffodils and stuff, isn't it? But I think he's celebrating the Lake District.
He's a poet, that's about as...
Yeah.
I can't say I'm tremendously cultured.
Cultured, not in the way of poetry, but...
No.
One of Lakeland's famous sons, I believe.
Very famous poet, though.
Yeah, definitely. And celebrated the beauty of the Lake District, opening up tourism.
So this is the River Derwent, then?
This is the main river, the River Derwent.
So just up there, then, just out of shot to the right-hand side is where the River Cocker and the River Derwent...
They meet up there, yeah. But you can see why it's such a flood risk. Jeez. Look at the flow on that. You wouldn't want to fall in there, even though it's quite shallow.
Certainly wouldn't. Textiles, especially wool, were a major industry here, powered by the rivers running through the town. And brewing also played a big role, most famously Jennings Brewery, which operated here until as recently as 2022. And just a few miles away, the coal and iron industries of West Cumbria helped drive the need for a railway connection. So Cockermouth's railway history, we have to go back to 1847. And that was the Cockermouth and Workington Railway that arrived. And the first station site in Cockermouth. And we're standing on the station site right here, John.
There's not much left.
There's nothing to show you, it remains here. And that'd be looking down the trackbed towards Workington.
That's right, yeah.
Here.
And then coming in towards the goods station, or originally the station, but later the goods station, just there.
And of course this was the eastern terminus of that Cockermouth and Workington Railway. And the engine shed, you mentioned goods shed, John, that didn't come till later. It was originally an engine shed.
Okay, right.
And it was converted, I can't remember what date now, converted into a goods shed at a later date. But everything changed in 1865 when a new railway arrived. The Cockermouth, Keswick and Penrith Railway turned this into a through route, connecting the town right across to the West Coast main line at Penrith. And with that, a new station was built. The line was realigned, and for a time, Cockermouth had 2 stations. One for passengers, and the old one continued as a goods station until 1964. We're going to see if we're going to follow as much as we can the railway through the town. So we'll be stood on the course of the railway right here. And a lot of this railway has been redeveloped. I think we can plot the course of the railway through the town. I'm interested to see what remains we'll actually see. I think it's down here, John. I think it's down this little...
You should walk down here.
Alleyway at the end, yeah.
It used to go over there. It's on that embankment.
This has completely thrown me, John. I didn't realise the railway was elevated.
No, did not realise that at all. And it's like such a diddy little bridge, but it was only a one-track affair.
I'm just trying to get my head around the elevation of the railway, though, from where we were stood on that station site.
Did it gradually, gradually incline? Oh, more questions than answers now.
Ah, I thought I understood this, but never mind. It's what we do. We don't have all the answers.
This is beautiful.
Before we come. Just to clarify, the through line up towards the later station was on quite some incline. It had already separated from the line to the old station further west than I originally realised at Cockermouth Junction, and was already climbing as it bypassed the original station site, hence the appearance of this remaining embankment. The embankment and trackbed have these days been raised to the ground and the road realigned, but it originally crossed via a girder bridge. Things always look so monolithic on maps, so when you get here and you realise the topography of these places, right? Oh, this is great. I didn't realise we get to have a little walk actually on the trackbed. Look at that.
Bridge to nowhere.
Yeah, it just literally goes just to the end of the bridge here.
That's it.
And then the embankment disappears. I'm still trying to get my head around. So it must have been all on a raised... The road has been realigned, John.
Yeah.
Let's just make that clear now. The main road that we kind of started on.
It's been realigned, but it must have been quite steep coming up there.
Very thin embankment, single track, obviously. A very steep embankment. High above the houses down there. And of course this, John, this is, what's this railway now? So we're no longer on the Cockermouth and Workington Railway, we're on the
CKPR, or Cockermouth, Keswick and Penrith Railway. Oh, this is a lovely little stretch. It's just a little bit of embankment.
Yeah, a little bonus walk. Doesn't last very long though. We can see, look, it kind of filters out here back into a tarmac path around the back of some houses. But you can see how again the topography of the area, look, because
it's hilly, isn't it?
We're no longer in an embankment, and you can see that the surrounding landscape is now actually coming above the railway, and this is right. This is making more sense now. Cockermouth's hillier than I.
Yeah, then you kind of think. Well, we walked down, didn't we, from the hotel?
A lot of this railway line either side of Cockermouth, and we drove on it earlier, John. It's been turned into parts of the A66 now, hasn't it?
Yes.
This footpath that we've been walking on, this is rising quite steeply here, John.
I think really steep, yeah.
The railway's down there, or was down there in a cutting. It's been built on now, but it did go under a road bridge here. Coming into view there, is that part of the old bridge?
I wonder if it is. Let's have a look on the other side when we get there. Oh, it's a wall, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I need to see
apart
some
from the stones on the end, it's.
I assume it matches the rest around the corner.
And here it's sadly a case of infilling by the looks of things. Yeah, it was. So this was basically a big cutting just on the approach to the station, where this car park is here. Pretty much as the car park is on the footprint. Look, you can see there's an embankment on that side. So we're stood on the bridge here then, John. That's looking back to where we've walked. Looking back down the cutting that way.
Under the bridge into what is now the Mountain Rescue.
So we've been looking right across the station here then.
This would have been the start of the station with a turntable on the right-hand side.
Yeah, we can see all sorts on the old maps, infrastructure-wise, the station buildings, cattle pens and sidings over this side. I mean, there's nothing really remaining of the station now, and it's found a use as another type of station now, hasn't it? Is it for the mountain rescue?
Mountain rescue and fire station, I think, further down as well.
Yeah, very underwhelming location these days in terms of what remains of the railway, just around the actual station there. You can see there's a fire station there. But this has still got the name though, John.
Yeah, it's still got the sidings. It's lovely.
Look.
I love they made a bit of effort, and they even light up as well.
Oh yeah, and look at the little tracks, little detail in there. So the station buildings, John, were just kind of between the mountain rescue and the fire. You see with the fire building there with the trucks in it. So as you can see, like the cutting sides.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
On the other side there. large cutting on that side, but then on this side, we're kind of on a shelf. So it's just kind of perched on the side of the hill, isn't it? All the cattle pens and the sidings were just on the side here, and we were just wondering if this edge that's now overlooking the back of Lidl, if that's the original where the line ran, or if it's just been shored up at a later date. It looks like the landscape's changed around here, but this is the other end of the station now, or the exit of the station, I suppose, in the direction that we're walking. And then just at the end of the station, we're high above the town again, so it's forever changing topology here. We've come down now underneath the bridge on the exit from the station, and we meet our River Cocker again, John.
We do, look at that,
yeah.
Flowing in full flight again. Awesome.
Yeah,
now, I think I know what the building is.
What's that? That was the old pump house. Okay. Well, the reason we came down here is just to show you these. This is a little row of buildings here we can see on the old maps, and we can see them here from the gable end, look. Now that's listed as Railway Terrace.
I think we describe that as a viaduct. Look at these pillars, they're built to last. Obviously at some point rather, that's been replaced at the top.
Yeah, new deck at some point, yeah.
A bit of concrete up there as well.
Some nice architecture, isn't there, in Cockermouth?
Oh, it's lovely. Love this Cumbrian stone. And it's just only hidden parts of the Cockermouth you don't realise are here. Yeah. You have to get a bit on the embankments, a bit walking down by the rivers. It's lovely.
By the mid-20th century, the balance was starting to shift. Road transport was taking over, industry was in decline, and even the tourist traffic wasn't enough to save the line. And in 1966, the railway through Cockermouth closed, and within a few years, the entire route was gone. Not the most aesthetically pleasing concrete bridge, but the middle section makes up for that with the iron railings. What we're looking at here then, John?
Lots of info. Ah, look, we can see the mini railways that went round here. Here we are.
Some nice photos of the station here.
Oh, beautiful.
Subway entrance. I wonder if that's still buried then. It will be, won't it?
Quite possibly.
Filled in. And there's the turntable.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and you can see the embankment behind it.
Yeah. This is saying then that this viaduct we're on here, so you were right, John, when you said that the decking had been replaced, because it was originally an arch viaduct.
Oh, wow. So it's not just the decking.
So they've put in this new decking, the new concrete, on the top of the original piers for the viaducts, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it says it was replaced with the current stone viaduct in the 1940s. And in this one, the CK and PR line was an embankment down to Low Road, which it crossed by a metal bridge. Then it ran the stone viaduct, so it lost height down to meet the CWR line. In the old days, it's a railway that had a prominent straight route.
Yeah.
Then the road had to have the prominent straight route after that.
The road's been straightened out quite significantly. And there's a little bridge we came across right at the start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's now the only visible part of the structure that connected this line, the CK and PR, with the Cockermouth and Workington Railway. This viaduct was replaced in the 1940s. So it's still a very decent age, isn't it? This more modern concrete and iron railing. Nice little flowers there, aren't they? It's such a high viaduct, this. Look at that, just towering over the town down there.
So, you know, we thought that wall might have been like part of the bridge, but it wasn't. That's the bridge there, but as you're going up past that row of houses that now exist, there was this footbridge, which you can see on the maps.
So that's why we couldn't locate the top of the wall, so maybe it was the corner of the bridge we could see, but they've just extended the bridge at a later date.
Yeah.
And they've kind of infilled the railway cutting below.
So it's a little bit of retaining wall. It goes on for quite a long distance around there.
Yeah, it's building, isn't it? Yeah, a little recess here, look, John.
What's that
bin
for,
or
then?
something like that, probably. Nice little walk through Cockermouth, that was. And we'll leave the walk here. This is Lawton Road, the old bridge. Again, looks like it's had some strengthening work, John, on this.
Yeah, it looks like original London on the bottom, but yeah, definitely a lot of later amendments here, I think.
Missing bridge identifier there. That'll be in somebody's garden, John, or on somebody's wall. Right, you, but I'm exhausted. What time is it?
It is 6:26 and it's time for some din-dins, I think.
I set off this morning at 9 o'clock. A long day, a long day.
It's been a long day, but it's been a good day, and the weather here has been awesome, so we actually got to have a really nice time in Cockermouth. A few unexpected treasures, I think.
Cockermouth didn't lose its railway overnight. The town simply changed, industry declined and roads took over, and the railway that once helped build the town gradually became unnecessary. Hope you've enjoyed that Lost Railway Towns episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new around here. This is the kind of thing we do videos on. So thanks to all my channel members, anyone who buys me a coffee, sends a super thanks. And you can also support the channel and everything we do by getting your hands on one of these special edition Lost Railway Towns mugs. It's just a small memento I designed, especially for this series. So for me and John, thanks for watching. Ta-ra!